Hello YouTube, it's a Faceless Man here, and today I have a pretty more advanced video for you guys. Now, if you're an investor with a little bit of more money and you want to kind of swing trade and make a good profit out of it, I'm going to show you some of the stocks that I've been using for swing trading to actually make a good return, and pretty much that's how I make a decent living. Now, day trading is the thing that makes me the most amount of money, but I'm not going to get into it, especially here in Robinhood, because this is not really a good platform to day trade in. So I'm just going to explain swing trading and kind of explain to you what stocks I use and when I've used them and how I've used them. So I'm going to explain Microsoft, Coca-Cola, and Procter & Gamble. Microsoft, I've been kind of looking at it, and it's been in my watch list for the last couple of years. But I'm going to kind of explain how I look at Microsoft and when I jump in and when I jump out. Now, you guys don't do the same thing I do because, I have my own system. It might work for you guys, but, we all have a different system. So for me, I know when to jump in, and I have the mentality to actually know when to get out and when to stay and when to sell. And, for me, it's worked well. I made a lot of money from Microsoft, and I'm going to explain how I did it. So, for example, my first trade started back here. As you see, back when it was at 76, I bought it. It ended up dropping to 76 somewhere here, and then it just jumped up back to like when it was at 83. I sold out. So that was pretty much from, a $7 gain per share. I made a couple of $1,000 there in a couple of weeks. Pretty much in this process, I was making a good amount of money. So that's one thing that you have to pay attention to. It did have a little burst here, so I did get lucky there. So after the stock started going up, then it started building a different pattern, and you always have to pay attention to the patterns. For me, as you see here, its high was at 94. Its lows here were at 84. Same here, 87. So pretty much what I set up here, you have to see that there's a base pattern here. Sorry. There's a base pattern here. So when, there's constant drops here. So when you see a drop around this area, for me, that's when I was going into a buy. So if the share price here was getting between $90 and under, that's when I bought. If momentum keeps, going rapidly, then I just wait till it hits like 89 or 87, and then I buy. I buy a great amount of chunks, and then, this stock usually tends to go from like, let's say 87 or 88 to like 90 quickly within a couple of days. But you also have to be paying attention to the news. So, this whole China thing in the last couple of days, had the market a little bit down, but then it went back up. And you always have to understand that, this rides on emotion. So you have to be patient, Let's say I bought up into $90 because that's one of my base buys, but it keeps dropping to 87. It's not where I'm going to, a lot of new investors or people I don't know end up selling, so they won't lose any more money. For me, I'm going to be patient and actually buy more, so I could average out my price. And then when this stock goes back up to like 90 or 91, like $91, then that's when I start selling off. If it hits 93, I sell everything. So, that's where I've made my profits. And I'm going to kind of show you how I did that in a way. Well, that's pretty much how I did it. But once the stock hits like, it dropped down to 87 and jumped back to like 93. I sold up at 92, buying $10,000 worth of, this share makes you, let's say, $400 in that, couple of days. So that's how I swing trade, little things here and there. And, it's investing a good amount of money, investing $10,000 only makes you about $300, $400. So you have to be paying attention to that. You have to have the money to actually invest, to actually make those amount of profits. But the thing is that you can have a loss on that. So, for me, I've been studying this stock for a good while. I did slow it down back when, it had this little push here because, this changed the game here. Once it had a good spurt, it had to, stabilize and set up another pattern. So as you see here, the pattern's a little different because, it had this little growth here. So, you have to pay attention to those things. You have to be patient and don't always panic. You have to have a great mentality to actually swing trade and do, well with these stocks. So that's one of the ways I actually made my money, and I'm still making money here. So right now I am not buying, I am selling. And if it drops down back to 90, that's when I'll buy more. If it goes back up, I'm going to sell. So that's the pattern that I'm using for this one. With Coca-Cola, this one was very, very easy to actually see. As you see, it dropped down a lot. It ended up dropping to 42.50. It doesn't show here, but once it hit like 42.50, that's when I bought a lot of it, because I know Coca-Cola is not worth 42.50. And eventually it was going to go up. But as you see, it's built a pattern in the past 3 months. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, So you see the same thing with a stock like this. It has a base here. So whenever it hits, these marks, that's when I'm buying, and this is where I'm going to be selling. So you see the high marks. So around this price right now at the moment, this is where I'm selling. When it hits pretty much that pattern or pretty much here, I start selling off here. This is where I'm going to start selling off to actually make profit. Once it hits here, I sell all of it. It drops back down, I buy more. If it drops even more down, I buy even more. And when it hits a little peak, I start selling. But again, these are stocks that I've been paying attention to that have been very predictable. And yeah, as you see, it all has the same pattern. There's always a baseline, where you can buy and sell. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. It can be like little chunks here. So buy, buy, you get me? You have to find the pattern for it. And for me, I know when this stock goes under, $42, or under $43, then I'm going to buy, because I know it's going to go back up. It needs to hit that $44 plus mark, because that's where it's been for a good while. And that's where, it's deserved to be. So that's with that one. And the one that I'm jumping into right now lately has been Procter & Gamble. Now, Procter & Gamble has been doing bad for some reason. Again, they're not doing bad as a company as a whole. But as you see, they've been very stable, except back here. But, they've been productively gaining and dropping. But this has been a huge drop for them. So they haven't been... They haven't been bad. They've been down $10.92, in the past 3 months. And I feel like, for me, it's a good time to buy. So every time it keeps dropping a little more, I keep buying more and more. So this is probably going to be a couple of months before it probably goes back up. But right now I'm stocking up on Procter & Gamble. I am taking a little risk on it. But again, if I make this, if this one jumps back up to at least the $85 mark, then I'm going to make a huge profit. So for me as a swing trader, that's what I'm looking for. I'm constantly looking for those situations. And again, I showed you an example of how I'm using these three. There are a lot more that I'm using. But again, if you want to be making about, $300 or $400 every like 2 or 3 days, something like that, then, you do have to invest about like $10,000+ to, make that amount of profit, because there is a huge risk and a huge reward situation in these. But again, for me, I found a pattern where it's been working for me, and I've made good profits like that. So, if you guys can build up a system that will help you build a good watch list that you guys can use, so you can actually make money out of it, then yeah, again, if you're a new investor, take your time. You'll eventually get there, and you can make a living out of it. So again, patience is key. Setting up the right mentality is key, and always having, a watch list that is always a good thing to do, because, you need to know the prices of your stocks, and you need to see what's averaging, and, you have to see its fluctuation and study them well enough so you would know when to buy in and when to buy out. So, I hope this video kind of gave you an idea of how to set up your watch list and how to kind of approach the market as a swing trader. So again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you don't have Robinhood, use the link in the description down below, so you guys can, get a free stock and actually start investing. Also want to tell you guys one thing. I'm going to set up a paypal.me account down there. If you guys want to donate, I'm trying to set up a scanner So you guys can possibly use, I'm going to try to build a scanner on my own, a free scanner that I'll eventually set up a link to, so you guys can use it, so it can help you, look at stocks, so you guys can swing trade and day trade. So yeah, if you want to donate whatever you can, whatever, a quarter, 2 quarters, it doesn't matter, anything would help. That would be great. Thank you for everything, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. So peace out.